The old house on Hemlock Lane had stood vacant for as long as anyone could remember. Its paint was peeling, its windows boarded up, and the once manicured lawn was now overgrown with weeds. Locals whispered of strange occurrences within its walls, of unexplained noises and shadowy figures that lurked in the darkness. Despite the warnings, Sarah, a young and intrepid writer, was drawn to the house. She sighed as the perfect setting for her next horror novel. Armed with a flashlight and a notebook, Sarah approached the house on a stormy night. The wind howled and rain lashed against the windows, adding to the eerie atmosphere. With a heavy heart, she forced open the creaking front door and stepped inside. The house was dark and dusty, the air thick with the scent of decay. As she ventured deeper into the house, she heard a faint scratching sound coming from the attic. Curiosity overcame her fear, and she climbed the narrow, winding staircase. The attic was a vast, open space filled with old furniture and boxes, cobwebs draped from the rafters, and dust motes danced in the shafts of moonlight that filtered through the broken skylight. As Sarah moved cautiously through the attic, she felt a sudden chill. She turned around, but there was nothing there. Just when she thought she was alone, she heard a soft whisper. "Get out," the voice said. Sarah's heart pounded in her chest. She spun around, her eyes darting around the room, but there was no one there. She dismissed it as her imagination playing tricks on her, but the whisper continued. "Leave this house," the voice insisted. Fear began to creep into Sarah's mind. She wanted to leave, but she was paralyzed with terror. She stumbled towards the door, but it was locked. She pounded on it, but there was no response. Suddenly, the lights flickered and died. Sarah was plunged into complete darkness. She could hear the wind howling outside, and the rain drumming against the roof. She was alone in the dark, and she was terrified. A cold draft swept through the attic, and Sarah felt a presence behind her. She turned around slowly, her eyes straining to see in the darkness, and then she saw it. A shadowy figure stood in the corner of the room, its eyes glowing red in the darkness. The figure began to move towards her, its long, skeletal arms reaching out to grab her. Sarah screamed and tried to run, but it was too late. The figure enveloped her in a cold embrace, and she felt a sharp pain in her chest. The next morning, Sarah's body was found in the attic of the old house on Hemlock Lane. The cause of death was listed as heart failure, but the locals knew the truth. They said that she had been claimed by the dark forces that lurked within the house, and they warned others to stay away.